time? Anybody? Okay.
She was here on Monday, but she said that she was busy, so I don't know. Maybe she's not. I don't know.
Okay, right. So let me just know this is fine. Okay, just switch that off because it bounces back. Okay, yeah. So so hopefully, I don't know whether she'll be able to come in later on in the lesson. Okay, so I'll tell you what. Just this is the last session. So thinking about something that Sandra was saying just before you guys came in was about the sorts of things that you find difficult, or that you find let's say not so easy to get your heads around. So Sandra mentioned something about phrasal verbs, and well, phrasal verbs is an obvious one because there's just too many of them. What about you, Emanuela? Do you have particular problems with?
With phrasal verbs?
In general, sort of just to get some ideas about the sorts of things that you find more challenging, let's say.
But in general, sorry, Gordon, perhaps I've lost a piece of the conversation. In general, what do you mean exactly about the different skills, like comprehension?
Yeah. Or it could be different skills, or it could be particular grammar points, or it could be vocabulary. It could be anything.
Okay, vocabulary, of course, it's a little bit a problem, because I realize when I hear some other people talking, when I listen, some other people talking to some other people.
No, when you hear.
When I hear, okay.
Yeah.
I realize I have a lot of difficulties in choosing, the right words. Perhaps I can make me understand, but I realize that I still think in Italian, and I think of particular, very specific words that I can translate. I don't know.
Okay, and so that sort of that will, let's say, affect your fluency also.
Yeah.
Because you're spending time looking for words, and maybe the word you find is not actually the word you want.
Yeah, probably. For example, adjectives. No, a lot of adjectives that with which can I say that?
Yeah, with which.
With which you can express nuances.
Yeah, good. Nuances, nice. Yeah. Good.
In English too. Okay.
Yeah, it's the French word.
Okay. So that is one of my problems, and of course the other one is grammar. But I think that it is because I haven't studied the grammar in these last weeks or months, because I knew grammar better than now. I used to know grammar better than now, so I think I can solve that kind of problem. And sometimes listening, it is sometimes for me quite difficult to understand when other people speak, especially if they are English.
Yeah.
It's easier for me to understand foreigner people that speak English instead of English
native speakers. Well, yeah. Again, it really does depend on who you're talking to.
Of course.
Some people, it's a bit like speaking Italian to a Neapolitan or a Bergamasco. Yeah. According to who you're speaking to, you may get Dante, but you may also get. So yes, that can be challenging. Yeah.
Of course, I realized that attending the course, even if it is once a week, and sometimes I lost the lesson, attending the course, for me, I had a benefit from this. I mean, because at least I hear some other people talk. Yeah, it's a refresh language, grammar rules.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't particularly. I think at this level in particular, the let's say the grammar should be there. There may be still some things to sort out about the use of the correct use or the appropriate use of the past, but that can get with the compound past tenses, that can get a little bit
difference between past tense and present perfect.
It's a bit different because there's a difference in the expression of time between English and Italian, but that stuff, again, it's stuff which comes with practice, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
So Emanuela, what you said about the grammar, I think is something that you have. It is just that because also at this level, you don't want to be let's say stopping yourself speaking because you're trying to get the perfect sentence, because at this level it's actually about natural speaking. It's more about natural language. So as you will have noticed, first of all, spoken language can be quite let's say fragmented, because you're sort of expressing thought as you are making it. But also, I think that if you are sort of stopping to translate and, oh, did I get the tense right? And you're putting yourself a lot of barriers in the way of fluency. So, and as you will notice, a lot of English people, myself included, the grammar is a little bit, let's say, flexible sometimes. for want of a better.
Do.
Also because you think in Italian.
For my students.
Yeah.
Very flexible.
Yeah, well, I actually.
Next time I correct the test, I can write it. Your grammar, your user language is really flexible.
Flexible, yeah. Well, no, it's funny because you know sometimes. I mean, I don't know what language I think in. I mean, at the moment, I'm probably thinking in English, of course, but there are many times when, particularly in the context when I'm switching backwards and forwards, I'll be thinking a little bit in Italian, so I'm using Italian type of phrases and constructions, and then I'm sort of switching back to English, and I find myself not quite able to. I have to sort of take a step back to put the let's say to change the gears a little bit, but. Yeah, I think the other thing is that the vocabulary is something which just comes with practice. And if you have the chance, I mean, if anyone has the chance, the way to do it, I think the way to do it is to watch favorite television programs or films in language, even with subtitles are fine. Subtitles are absolutely fine. Because if you're watching stuff that you've seen before, you're not worrying about the story, you're concentrating on the language. So that's one thing. And the other thing, I think you cannot beat reading, whether it's newspaper articles or whether it's literature or books. I wouldn't recommend James Joyce. But sort of more normal literature is, you know, there's a lot to be said for reading books, even, you know, authors, you know, the current day authors.
Mr. Kennedy, can I ask you something? I like crime. Agatha Christie is difficult to read.
No, she's not. Okay, no, she's not.
So I can try.
No, it's a good question, Vito, because
I read most of it in Italian, but I don't know in English.
No. You should try, because I remember my wife, because she reads a lot of crime stuff, And we seem to watch a hell of a lot of crime stuff as well. Anyway, that aside, I mean, my problem with crime stories is I have got absolutely no clue who's done anything.
Yeah, sure.
I just can't follow them. But she started, this was quite a while ago, it was a good number of years ago. She started reading Agatha Christie in English to, to improve a bit her vocabulary and what have you. And yeah, they work very well. The only thing you have to remember is that they were written in the 1930s, 1940s. Yeah,
old-fashioned terms.
So it's a sort of, it's like an old-fashioned type of language, but it's the same in Italian. If you pick an author from Alberto Moravia or something like that from the 30s or 40s, you have that style of language. So, but yeah, it's good, because the thing is, if you're choosing something that you're interested in, that's a good way of. And what I did when I first started learning Italian, I had like a bookmark, which was a long strip of paper, and I always had a pen, and I would make a note of the words either that I didn't know, or that I thought, I don't know that one, but I want to remember it because I liked it for some reason, or I felt that it was important. And I think that's a useful way of
to find synonyms, false friends, and so on.
Yeah, exactly. So
Gordon, because sometimes in the past it happened to me to try to read English books, English author, and because I'm very upset when I can't understand what I read. It's for me it's really disappointing.
It's frustrating.
Frustrating. Yeah.
I think the word would be frustrating.
Frustrated. Yeah. So I tried. I read these books, and I tried to stop every time I couldn't understand a word, but it wasn't a good idea.
No.
Because first of all, because I realized that continuing to read, for example, it happened that I meet and I meet the same word in another context, and finally I could understand the word without reading the meaning on the dictionary. And the other thing was that I lost the pleasure of reading, doing this, because I couldn't go on with the story.
Well, so I think
more research than reading. Yes.
Yeah, but again, it's the thing. If you, so you're reading. So I think the thing is this: you have to sort of say, I'm reading this as an exercise in English because I want to improve my vocabulary. That's the objective. Okay. Clearly, part of the thing is you should be making some sense of the story, of course.
It's less relaxing.
But it is an exercise. Yeah. And of course, if you get to the end of the book and you've understood it and you've got a whole list of new words that you've learned, and some of them, the other thing is that you note these words and then you listen out for them. Now, this is the context thing. If you're in Italy, it's difficult. Whereas I was making notes of these words, and then maybe the day after I would hear someone say it, and it's sort of reinforcing the thing. I think that it's possibly you're expecting too much at the beginning. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to watch a Kurosawa film in Japanese, and I'm going to understand everything. No. Okay. Yeah. So you have to, and if you look at it from the point of view, it is an exercise. Okay. There's nothing to stop you from getting to the end of the book and saying, that was a bit, not a great experience, putting it away, and then coming back to it and reading it again. But after you've picked up and absorbed more vocabulary. Yeah. The first few times, I mean, the first full books that I read in Italian it took me ages. And I remember the very first book, Il giorno della civetta. And I remember every page, it was like a couple of lines, and then it's the dictionary and a couple of more lines. But the key thing, what I picked up after a while, and I later learned that this is something which is actually quite common in language teaching. What you're looking for is not all of the words.
Yeah.
You're looking for the sense of the thing. Okay. And after a while, you start to pick up very quickly which are the things that are so important that you really need to know that, because it's the key to the key to the thing, or which are the things which you can say, okay, well, I can skip that because I've got the sense of what's happening. Yeah, yeah, and that's where you come back to this thing about having perfect phrases, perfect grammar, perfect everything. Fitting together. You have to have it. When you say, oh, I have to have everything, otherwise I don't understand it. Well, that's not actually true. Yeah, and it's nice, and it's also the other exercises. It's nice where you sort of say, I wonder what that word means. I think it means this. Then you go and find it, and it does. Yeah. So you know.
It's like when at school they taught you English and they told you that that word had a meaning, and after many years you discover that it has many other meanings.
Yeah.
As in Italian also.
Yeah. So I think maybe you were sort of maybe, Emmanuel, you were trying to be too hard on yourself, maybe. Expecting to, let's say, too much.
No, it's true because I have a linguistic university.
Okay. A formation or format.
Yeah, so for me, I was suffering, not understanding what I read or the exact meaning. But it's true. It's impossible if you afford a foreign language. You have in the first period to try to understand the general meaning. And then really I understood this because in the beginning I stopped at each word. Then I said to myself, no, it's not possible.
No, you can't.
And then I discovered that it was really frequently happened that I met the same word twice or three times. And for example, at the third time, I could understand because the context was very clear or was illuminating. No?
Yeah. But that's the way acquisition of vocabulary works. Repeated exposure, and you learn because the word itself is not an isolated thing. It's always in a context. So and one of the I forget. This is where you get into there's a whole set of terms for this stuff. Collocations. Collocations, yeah. So this is a great way of picking up collocations because, and it's also a good example because it links to phrasals as well. You don't just have one word. You have the verb and a preposition, or you have two or three words stuck together, sometimes a couple of prepositions to get on with. Okay. And so if you just look up to get or to get on,
tens and tens of meanings.
You don't get the whole thing.
And look after, look for, look out.
Yeah, exactly. So the thing here, I think the thing here is that you start to get a bit more. You start to see how these combinations of words come up again and again and again, and that's what you were saying.
It's like Mr. Kennedy, when I was a teenager and I started my English. They told me this is a book, and I knew that book meant libro, And after many years, I studied hotel school because that's my preparation, and I discovered that book was also to book, prenotare. That's, you know, and exactly. So with the fly, mosca, and fly, volare, and so on.
Exactly.
And these there are hundreds of these different names, but you discover only if you go on. As Emanuela said, I'm not a teacher and I am not graduated, but I honestly agree completely with all that was said.
It's this is the way to sort of like say, it's the way to pick up the language. So what about you, Barbara? What would you say?
I was following the conversation anyway. Well, I think that my difficulties are especially in vocabulary, not much grammar apart from the phrasal verbs.
No, well, phrases.
I won't understand them and I won't learn them. That's in italiano diciamo la tapparella giù.
Yeah, but because for example,
it is closed. Okay.
So there are some things, for example, in Italian that make absolutely no sense to me. Vado dal dentista. Ma perché?
Molto luogo.
But in English, I go to the dentist. It's
you could never say go from the dentist.
Anyway.
So I think. I think one of the things that you quickly learn with any language is prepositions, particularly when they're associated with actions. They have a logic all of their own, and the logic stays within that language. It's got nothing to. Some of these things.
It's not logic; it is used, I think.
Yeah, there's because German is the same. They have it's exactly the same thing that you don't.
Sometimes people ask me, "Why is it this?" It is. So shall we go? What shall we do? What? Because I shall. Never mind. Learn.
Just get on with it. Yeah.
So you don't speak. And imagine. Sorry if I interrupt you. Imagine if you try to learn a language as I did here in Prato, Chinese, just a few, that has no grammar. A language without grammar is something absurd. You think to make a soggetto, subject, verb, which is all in the Latin or English.
Phonetic language.
Japanese or Chinese, it's completely different. They go with concept, and you have to understand that an ideograph is a concept.
Yeah.
That's absurd.
It's different. It's a different way of. It's interesting.
When I listen to some videos, and maybe I understand that this word, I don't know this word, maybe it is colloquial. I should stop it and write it every time, but I never do. But I think you should do this. And also for when you read a book. Oh, with this word, it is new. Okay, if you write it, you translate the whole book anyway.
Well, the advantage these days, though, is that if you're reading a book, and you find a word that you don't know, you've got your phone, just tap it in and find the dictionary. You don't even have to use Google Translate to translate it, because that's one thing. Because the other thing that classically a good way of learning vocabulary and fixing vocabulary was to actually have a learner's dictionary or a dictionary in the language. So
monolingual,
yeah, exactly. So you're no longer doing and it helps your brain get out of the switching thing, because you start to just sort of feel the sense of the words in the other language.
Always have a dictionary next to you when you read the book. Imagine you're at the beach. And
but you've got a phone. You've got the phone.
Not on the phone. I haven't got a dictionary on the phone. I have on a computer here. This is my fantastic. This is fantastic because sometimes I use it at school, especially for the pronunciation.
Okay.
So you listen to this, and this is so. Sometimes they say a word. Well, now.
So you would say, yeah.
A word, it did, instead of filmed, my student used Jack. I don't think it exists.
Jack?
Jack,
As in
from the Jack.
No.
I don't think it exists. My
No.
God.
That I can't. No, that one. No.
Sometimes you should need it. I try to download the dictionary on my phone.
Yeah, well, there are all sorts of, because that's the other thing. There are all sorts of language learning apps these days as well. If, for example, for the vocabulary, there are apps which throw vocabulary lists at you, and you sort of try and remember them, and you, according to how many you get, you might get words repeated. The ones that you get wrong, they keep throwing them back at you until you get them right.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's a lot of I mean, again, it's de gustibus, because some people, I think some people find this type of thing quite useful. I've done a little bit of it. I prefer the paper and the pencil, but that's just because I'm old style, let's say. So
I sometimes prefer it, but you can not always have a dictionary.
Yeah.
I started reading e-books on the computer or on the smartphone, but honestly, I'm like you. Being 67, aged 60, honestly, I like to smell the paper. The flavor.
I don't have an e-book. I would like to try, but I agree with you. I prefer turning the pages.
Yeah,
back, put a sign when I stop reading.
Yeah, you're right. I agree with you, Barbara.
Okay, so what about Marta? Marta's being extremely quiet and also invisible, which is fine.
Invisible.
There is no picture. Yeah?
Are you
Kennedy,
there,
how you do? Sorry, how you do to open the screen? Because I noticed that when you open the screen, if there's a picture of the person, that depends on whether the video open or not. Now Marta is on. Yeah.
Marta. If you turn all the recording, I show myself.
If I turn it off,
I turn on the camera.
No, it's okay, Martha. It's okay. Don't worry. Worry. Because the thing is, I'm not supposed to interrupt it. All of this is being recorded anyway, so I'm not supposed to interrupt it, because it's supposed to go for the. It's like a record of what I've done with you guys, so it doesn't matter. But what you can tell us, or what you can tell me, is what sorts of what.
Listen, I speak very little. I have little practice.
Okay.
But listen to you, reading the subtitles, relaxing me, and I learned a lot. The summer, we'll watch all the recordings.
Okay. Honestly, I'm not sure whether that's a good way to spend your summer. To be absolutely honest with you.
Better to go to the beach.
I think so. I think so, but no, it's. I think it also depends on how much opportunity you have to practice what you do. What you're learning. So I don't know. Are you able to practice the language in some way?
No.
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 So you're not teaching English. You're not having anything to do with English, really.
No.
Okay. So this is let's say this is one of the barriers, because this is a motivation thing. So you're motivated if you want to. You're really self-motivated if you want to listen to watch the videos or what have you,
yeah.
Which is good. The problem is that you need, at some point, you need a, let's say, sort of a dialectic. You need a backwards and forwards conversation to help you, let's say, to help you sort of use the vocabulary that you're learning, but also free up and become a bit more, let's say, a bit more natural in the use of the language. And I think that that's something which comes with it comes with time. It comes with practice. So
I understand.
Yeah, I mean, no, I mean, it's. I'm not criticizing you in particular. I'm just saying in general that at some point you need that external input which will help you. But it's an external input which is two-way, so you're able to. It's a conversation, basically, if you like.
Yes.
So I think.
Pardon, sorry, excuse me, because Marta said one thing, and I thought about this. Do you know if there is a deadline about the possibility to watch the other lessons?
No, I think they're out there on the wild web. That's
okay,
it.
but also for the presence, because I of course I didn't put a signature to the ones I was when I was absent. I don't know if
okay,
there is
right.
possibility to watch them and recuperare.
Sign. Okay, I'll tell you what. I'll make a note of that and I'll send a message to Caroline. But I have.
I think we can use as a teacher. I mean, I think we also can use this as a corso di aggiornamento.
Sì, esatto. C'è una certificazione. Allora, okay, I'll. Hey, ciao, Christina. Hello.
Perhaps she can hear us.
I think she's playing with the controls. You can see the intent look on people's eyes as they're looking at the bottom of the screen to see what's being.
Mr. Kennedy.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry if I interrupt you. Maybe I can be of help to Emanuela. I received a few days ago from Caroline Mereu from the Europol. I received an email which said at the end, also, if you are interested in watching the past episodes, just click here. And there was a link. So probably if she asks, they will send her the same.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I think. Excuse me. I think we don't. We can have lessons available on the website of Polo Europeo della Conoscenza. My question was: is there a deadline? We have to listen to the lessons we
okay. Sorry, Emanuela. So is this deadline that you're referring to? Is it referring to the signing presents?
See, to watching them, to sign them, because of course I wanted to watch them too before.
Right. Okay. I've just put a message. This is the text from a message that I got from Caroline the other day.
I see some.
Okay, so I won't read it out because my Italian pronunciation is pretty awful. But
okay, on Friday they are going to prepare gli attestati. Okay. Okay. So we can put the signature to the ones we lost, and then I can watching them con calma, how can I say, after the school finish.
See, okay, yeah, okay, yeah, okay. So that's clear. That's clear because the thing is that I don't see the Google Docs register at all. That's something that remains between you and Europol. Okay. So if that email is clear, if that message is clear, then that's good. That's good.
Thank you.
So thank you, Christina, for putting the register on the chat as ever.
You're welcome, and hello everybody.
Cristina, sorry, can we find on the website, Polo di Conoscenza website, the other link for the signature?
You can check your email, the email received some months ago, and you can check your presence.
Sorry, we received the mail with the riassunto, sintesi, no?
Mm-hmm.
No,
yeah,
so.
the summary.
Summary. Are you saying this, Cristina?
No.
Oh.
No.
Because
You have to check your email already received in the past, and then control or check if you have made your signature or not about your presence.
Because now I put my signature on the link to that arrived on the mail, and now I did the same here, and I could do the same because perhaps you can put the signature more than once. Okay,
yeah,
I'm going to check. Thank you.
Yeah, what Caroline says is it doesn't matter if you sign it more times.
Okay.
If you've signed it, they take it that you've signed it. That's
Twice is better than no one.
yeah,
no.
yeah,
No.
exactly. Okay.
Thank you.
Pardon, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Pardon. Will I also have the certificate, even if I have not participated in the conversation?
Yeah. If you have signed the form, that's fine. It's a participation in the lesson. Okay. Okay. So what you can do is, I think you can go into the form and you can sign for the lessons that you participated in, and if you are going to recover the lessons, or you're going to look at them again, or whatever, the ones that you've missed, you can sign for those. Okay.
Okay. Thank
you. Okay. Right. Okay, yeah. So, Cristina, you've arrived a little bit after the beginning, so I have to apologize to you for Monday.
I'm sorry, but on Wednesday I'm at school till
No. It's not a problem. It's not. No. The problem is that
PM, so.
there was a bit of a mix-up, a disguido in the communication about Monday. So
yes, I know. We realized about it, but we worked all the same together.
That's good. It's good.
We continued speaking in English, and we found some exercise on the website.
Okay,
and,
good.
I think that, I don't know what you think, Sandra and Marta, but I think that it was useful and interesting.
Okay, yes. That's good. No, that's great. That's good. Yeah, so we're just going around. I was just going around the table since today is the last session, of course. Just picking up what people feel about things which cause them difficulty, and we're sort of talking a little bit about the sorts of strategies that we can use to overcome this. But of course, at this level, the problem is also one of time, which is that you're sort of getting to a plateau, and to get to the next step, to make the next step, is a big. There's a lot. Talk about vocabulary. There's a lot of vocabulary. You talk about phrasals. There's a shed load of phrasals. You talk about fluency in conversation and natural language. There's a lot of practice to be done. So, what sort of things do you still find a little bit, let's say, difficult, or what would you say are problem areas for you?
Is it a question to me or?
Yes, yeah. To you, Cristina. Sorry.
I think that this year for me it was an opportunity to speak more in English, and to overcome my fear about speaking in English. Yes. So it was useful. Because I'm always thinking to make mistakes. So, you know, I think twice or more times before speaking. So it was like ice breaking, and for that reason, it was useful. And even some exercises, I found it, some of them a bit difficult for me. But in other situations, they were similar to other exercises that I have already made.
Yeah, you've already done.
I have already done for the C1 level. Okay. And it was like a support, a reinforce.
Yeah.
And I think that even reinforce, even remind something that you have already done, it is very important.
Well, yeah.
They linked in your memory, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, because that's a good point, because if you think about the way you use language, your own language every day, yeah, so you speak Italian all day and you're speaking, if you think about how you actually use your language, 99.999% of it is just to do absolutely normal stuff. And it's the same words again and again and again. Okay, but that's what language is, because language is, yeah, okay, there's literature and stuff which is very particular, but that language is actually about getting things done. It's about communication to do things in whatever way you want to look at that. And so the idea of, let's say, of repetition is, that's how kids learn it. So I'll just give you an example, because it struck me as being rather strange, but my wife explained to me probably what it is. Last couple of days I've been over in Piemonte, and I was at a conference, and a lot of the people who were presenting were from that area, and I noticed that some of these people, not all of them, but some of the people I talked to had an R sound, the way they pronounced the R, le rimoscio, yeah, Bertinotti. Okay, and I know I recognize it because my wife's side of the family, they are sort of Ligurian Piemontese. Okay, so I've heard it in the family, and I sort of said to her, I was really surprised, because it's like one in 3 or 1 in 4, and I couldn't. Here in Verona, you never hear it hardly.
Is probably related to the French influence.
Okay. Sorry, Christina.
It's probably related to the French influence.
Yeah. It could well be. Most probable. And what Paula said to me was that most probably they learn it as kids, and so that's what they hear in the family, and so they just copy it. And that's how vocabulary works. You just keep using it and using it and using it, and you pick it up. You learn it.
It becomes natural.
Yeah, it just becomes natural. Yes, exactly. So it's so I'm surprised. I must say I'm very surprised that you said something about fear of speaking. That does surprise me.
Yesterday I had an English course with teenagers, you know, and for me it was really difficult, because they have chosen some stories but all the stories and the texts were a bit difficult. So, and for me, it was a really big effort speaking in English, using specific words for them.
So sorry, Christine. What was the context? This was a lesson.
They were probably they were useful for you, Emanuela. They were stories related to English literature. So, for instance, some stories by Sherlock Holmes or other texts related to the beginning of the 20th century.
Okay. Okay.
But the English was, you know, a bit old English, so some expressions were a bit difficult even for me. And being able to give all the answers was a really strong effort.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you also have to remember that I know absolutely zero about literature. Well, not quite zero, but very, very little, very, very little. So it's I'm always surprised at how much literature, how much English literature students actually do in high school or in the old years. Yeah.
Gordon, Christina, sorry, excuse me. I haven't understood exactly. I mean, there was some students and they had to tell stories. I haven't understood exactly. Gordon, before after what
they had to read
at school.
No, it was an extra course after school.
Okay.
After. So a project, and they had to read all the story, and then they try to change it, give them more options, and create another sort of story. And it was something when you have, for instance, a flashback. Then after you return to a story, then you go in another situation, then you come back.
Sounds a bit too complicated.
Because sometimes I ask to my students to, for example, to change the end of a story, to decide. Once I asked to put some choices, 3 different or 2 different kind of final part of the story.
Give them more options. Give them more options.
Like that. Or to take the personaggi,
the characters.
To take characters and reinvent the story with the same characters, but in other circumstances or something.
Circumstances, yeah. That's interesting, because this is
it was a bit difficult because they decided to create a diagram. Do you know a diagram with the form of a tree? So you
like
start
with
the
like a mind map, yeah.
Like a mind map. So you start with the story. So the story is like the stream, and then you change with other branches. Then you come back to the story. Then so it is because the idea is to reinvent the way you read a story, the way you read a famous story or an old story.
And all this in English. All this was in English.
Well, this is a really, really good way of using the language.
Which level of? I mean, students of high school,
secondary school. But for me, I tried to organize this course. It was difficult.
You did that. You organized that.
No, because the other teacher was ill, so I had to do all the work by myself.
Are you sure she was ill? Oh, sorry, I forgot we're being recorded. I didn't say that. Sorry. I wasn't casting any.
Neither do I. So That's why I say that sometimes if you want to maintain a certain level of English, you have to overcome your fear.
Yeah,
no.
And, absolutely. But
he simply wanted to give you a chance to organize, to experiment the brivido.
Yeah, the fear.
Yeah, this is really a fear. Fear.
Well, I think that these situations are a great challenge for each one. And even if you made some...
Oh, no.
We
She's
lost
gone.
her.
Lost her. But okay, while she's reconnecting, so maybe she's got a problem with the connection or something.
This is why I never this is why I never continued my university studies.
Yeah.
Because when I was younger, I started with a normal laurea in Lingue e Letterature Moderne, and I think that I had only to speak English. Was my, when I went there, they started with the Geoffrey Chaucer, John Galsworthy, and so on. I did one exam and came back home. Just
right. Okay. Yeah, I think. I think. Well, I've always said that the English courses here, the way it's taught in high schools in particular, or in secondary schools, is there's a lot of emphasis on literature, which I think is actually excessive, because you don't need historically Chaucer and what have you interested.
Yeah, they do the same with French.
But most instead this type of exercise that Christina's just described.
Yeah, exactly.
This is a really, really, really good way of using vocabulary and playing with the language. I think. I don't know what you think, Emanuela. Do you think it's a good exercise?
Yeah, I think so, because I noticed that students, when you challenge them, when you put a challenge, and when they are really interested in what you are proposing, they try to make efforts, no, to talk.
It's like they make an effort,
because the desire to say what they think or to propose what they want to propose is higher than the fear or than the difficulty.
The fear of making a mistake, or even it can be, this desire can actually overcome, let's say, objective level, and they will in some way try and do that. I was just saying, Christina, sorry we lost you. Just saying the exercise you just described, it sounds like a really, really good exercise.
Higher level.
No, but I can imagine even on a lower level, if you strip out some of the more complicated things, the actual exercise itself of you're using vocabulary, you're using the words, you're also using some imagination as well. And it's not a banal, simple, let's say, repetition of some grammar and stuff. No, it's actually using the language. I think it sounds like a really good exercise.
Yes, because it's an European project. They wanted to create something new.
Okay.
But it is easy to say that, but not to realize it in concrete. I was saying before, the most important thing is to learn about mistakes.
Yeah.
So for the next lesson, I know more how to do some or how to solve some situations. Because all of us have to learn about mistakes or about something that you didn't realize in a perfect way. I hope so.
But also, I think this was something that we said earlier, I think before you joined us, was that if you actually listen to recorded speech, and this is true in any language, but I notice it particularly in English, because being English, it sort of resonates with me. Recorded speech in terms of, for example, natural language, people talking with each other, can be absolutely incoherent. If you see it written down, you can think, good Lord, what does this mean?
Yeah, exactly.
But in the context of the conversation, you're following what I'm saying, even though maybe I get halfway through a phrase and I go backwards and then I remake it again. And because I'm formulating the idea as it's cut, literally as it's sort of come to, well, a millisecond before it comes out of my mouth. So what you need to, and this is not you in general, but it's not you, but personally, but in general, what you need to do is to overcome the idea of perfection. You don't get perfection in conversation. You can't, because you have some people who are maybe more fluid or more, let's say, erudite in their use of words. But this is a personal characteristic. It's not necessarily something that everybody can or wants to do. So and again, part of this level is also being is having a natural language. Not worrying too much about did I actually put the right things in the right place, and is the sentence ready to come out of my mouth, or yeah. But I think that as far as the fear of speaking is concerned, I would never have picked up on that. So I would never have thought that you were particularly blocked by that. Okay, I don't know. We've got about 20 minutes left, so I don't know whether anyone has any further comments or anything like that. I was just going to ask and go around the table about the summer. What's happening? What people are thinking about for the summer. So, Sandra, you've been very quiet.
I don't know yet. I have still so many things to do that holidays are very far from me.
Okay, so it's you haven't planned, you haven't booked anything, or no. Okay. What about you, Vito? Are you doing anything?
Well, I'm always on vacation, being retired.
Yeah. Okay. So permanent vacation.
I think I will go in Sicily, because my wife comes from there.
Whereabouts?
It's Gela, on the coast facing Africa. Yes.
Yeah.
It's near Agrigento. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. I've been there.
We go there. Apart the COVID period, we go there every year. Yes.
Yeah. Is it close to, or is it near Selinunte?
Exactly. Yes. Not far.
Yeah. That place, Mamma Mia.
Yes.
That is one of the most special places I've ever been to, I think.
I love it.
Yeah,
nice.
we went, this would have been 1990s at some point, late 1990s, in May.
May probably is much better than summer, because
no tourists.
When you go July, August, it's too hot to.
Yeah, exactly.
But
and
April, May is perfect. Or September.
I remember going to this place, and it was just covered with poppies and cornflowers and buttercups, and all of the spring flowers were out. There was nobody. There were only us in this. It was just magic, absolutely magical place. And I remember saying to my wife, the Greeks knew where to build things.
Yes, it's the archaeological area.
Yeah, beautiful.
Selinunte, Segesta. Gela itself, though it's not very respected, there is a small archaeological museum that I remember when I got married more than 20 years ago. It was closed. Now they have reopened it, and there is a famous Syracusan coins collection.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Which Magna Grecia, which they
Magna
have said
Grecia.
that they were the only, at that time, the only population that coined their own money.
Okay. Okay. That's excellent. So you'll be going there. That's great.
Yeah.
What about you, Emanuela? Have you got anything planned?
No, I haven't planned anything yet. But the fact is, I never plan anything. So it's quite normal for me. This is quite normal. No, I am like Sandra. Perhaps I'm still thinking. How do you say? I'm still thinking in a lot of things to do. About that is the perfect image that represents my situation.
What you'd say, you'd probably say you're drowning in it.
Drowning. I'm drowning for the moment, drowning, and I still have I also have the exams for final classe quinta, esami di maturità.
The fifth years.
Yeah. And so I don't know exactly when I will be free, perhaps in the beginning of July, I think.
Yeah, because will you be involved in the maturità?
Sì. I have I am, we say, interna.
Yeah, you're in.
I have my own class, so I will be in the I'm going to do these exams, and so I don't know exactly. I'd like to start again to travel, because I used in the past, before COVID period,
I used to travel a lot. Okay.
Yeah, I used to travel, and I don't know. I also, there is a purpose about Scotland, so I'm thinking about this, and it's really interesting for me. So I really would love to go.
Any particular places in Scotland?
No, just traveling, because we are thinking to go by camper.
Have you been there before?
Not to Scotland. I've been to Ireland. I've been to Great Britain, but not to Scotland exactly. And it's a long time. I desire. How can I say? I'm fond of Scotland. At least I'm fond of what I think about Scotland.
Yeah.
Because I don't know Scotland in the reality. So I can't, how do you say? I can't, I can't stand for, no, sorry. Non vedo l'ora. I look forward to
you can't wait.
I can't wait. Sorry. I couldn't remember. I can't wait to going or to go.
I can't wait to go.
To go. Okay. I can't wait to go. Sorry.
Yeah.
So it will be nice.
Yeah, I just put something on the chat. If you're going around, whether a camper or a car, and what have you,
Isle of Skye.
The Isle of Skye is well worth the whole of the west coast, the Highlands and the islands. It is particularly beautiful if you get good weather, but the problem is it rains a lot there, like a lot. But it is quite, the Isle of Skye is quite beautiful, and if you get the chance to go all the way up to the top, you feel like you're standing at the edge of the world. It's a very magical place. Yeah, very suggestive place. Yeah, the East Coast is nice too. It's more gentle, but the West Coast has a very particular.
I usually like very wild places. Like for example, when I was to Ireland, I really liked Cliffs of Moher, Giant's
Yeah,
Causeway,
it's like that. It's like that. It's
very
like that.
impressive seaside.
Yeah, it's very. It's wild. It's wild. Get some beautiful beaches. The water looks tropical. It's freezing cold.
Yeah.
But no, Scotland is Scotland is well worth.
Gordon, where do you come from? Because I don't think I know.
I'm from the north. Originally, I'm from the north of England, the northeast.
Okay.
I spent time at university in Scotland, and I've studied there. I've been there a lot. Been around there. It's well worth a visit.
Have you studied in Edinburgh?
No, in St Andrews.
St Andrews.
Which, if you're interested in golf, it's the home of golf.
Golf.
Yeah.
Play golf.
Yeah. It's the Royal and Ancient is the golf club. The Americans would say it's something else, but the Americans don't know anything about golf. So where we used to live in the town. The town is very small. You used to quite often, particularly this time of the year when the exams are finishing and you had a bit more time, quite often you go along the. Have you ever seen the film Chariots of Fire?
Yeah.
I can't remember what it's called in Italian. Chariots of Fire. It's about the runners. And there's a point where there's a scene where they're running along the beach.
Big.
That's the beach at St Andrews. We used to go down there a lot, for a walk, and we'd have a bonfire and a couple of beers and stuff. Well, more than a couple, but that's just being students. So yeah, it's well worth a visit. It's a historical town. So what about you, Christina? Are you going anywhere?
I haven't planned anything yet.
Plans.
No plans, unfortunately. But I'm sure that I will not stay at home all the summer time. So I'm not worried about it. I know that probably or to the mountains or to the seaside, I don't know, but probably I will travel. And I'm sure to enjoy these places, because I think that our mind, not only our body, need to relax and to learn from visits, learn from traveling. So I'm sure that some places I will visit, but I'm not. I don't know.
You're not
now
sure.
what.
Yeah.
No,
okay. So you haven't got anything planned.
No.
What about you, Barbara? Are you the same?
Because my daughter is taking her final exam.
Okay.
Autorità too. So she will start on the 23rd of June, I think, but I don't know when she have the oral exam.
Yeah.
Is her oral exam. So
this year,
and she will finish at the middle of July. I would like to go in Italy for a week somewhere. I don't know.
Any particular place that
I have 5 desires, wishes. One is Campania, Pompeii, Napoli, Caserta, and what?
Yeah. Any particular places or?
Yeah, Pompeii, Napoli, and second Tuscany. Or maybe cities and some seaside, but third is Puglia, and fourth is Sardinia, and fifth is Sicily. But too many, just one will win.
Yeah. Well, what you can do is you can put them in a hat and pull them out. Yeah.
Campania, I would like to win anyway. But...
Well, okay. So what you do is you write Campania 20 times, and you don't put the others in the hat. You just pull that one out.
5 times.
Yeah. Oh, look.
Oh, strange enough. I don't know, but I don't want to go abroad this year. No, because of the COVID isn't finished yet. First, this situation in in Europe is not so.
It's not so fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, and so I prefer to stay in Italy. I think it is safer this year. Yeah. Maybe in the future. I go back.
Okay. What about you, Marta? Are you planning on going anywhere?
No. I would like to go to Sardinia or London.
Or London. Very similar places.
Yes. For the 70th anniversary of the reign of the Queen. Yes.
Yeah. Sorry, can you just repeat that, please?
For the 70th.
Oh, right. Yeah. For the Jubilee.
Yeah, Jubilee.
Yeah, the Jubilee, they call it the Jubilee. Yeah, the 70th.
But I have to renovate the house. So I don't know. I will stay home for a while, then I'll see.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think this weekend in the UK, they're having a long weekend holiday, I think, to celebrate the Queen's Jubilee.
Yes.
I think so. But I don't follow that stuff, so it's sort of, it's a bit, to be honest with you, for me, it's a bit anachronistic.
So
I'm aware of the fact that I'm being recorded here, so I have to be careful what I say. But I find it all a little bit sort of anachronistic. That's being diplomatic.
It is anachronistic, but I think also tradition is good. It's important.
I think there's tradition and there's tradition. The Palio in Siena is tradition.
Well, but I couldn't imagine in United Kingdom without a monarchy in a way, because they are so it seems so. Aspetta, com'è la parola giusta? Bonded. I think, or not.
I don't know. I think attitudes have certainly changed. I think certainly since I grew up, I think it's something which is now considered something which is from the past in a way, and I think it's sort of abroad. It's part of let's say the image. But I think in the country itself, a lot of young people in particular sort of are asking, well, you know, what is that all about? Because it's this thing about there's tradition and there's tradition. For me, tradition is the rolling cheese down the hill in Somerset, in the village, in this particular village where they do that sort of thing. Okay, it's the Upelia in the Shetlands or in Orkney where they burn a Viking ship on Julian New Year. Okay, these are traditions, but this monarchy stuff is, I think it's something which is, its days are numbered, let's say, I think.
And you, Gordon, are you planning to go?
Yeah, we'll be going to Calabria. I've never, I've never been to Calabria before. I've never put my foot in the region. So we're going to.
I have been there, so
Where did
I
you
recommend it. Oh, I visited many places, and it was some years ago, but for me it was amazing to visit inside the region, the area inside the region where there are mountains. And I was really surprised because some mountains, even if they are in Calabria, they are similar to Trentino, Alto Adige. Wow.
Yeah, okay. So
very
it's
nice.
a Dolomite type.
So green area inside, and some beautiful beaches. I went, for instance, to visit Capo Colonna, where there is one column, a very, very old column, and the sea. Wow, wow. Some places are really magic. Others, they have some little problems. Yes.
That's normal. I mean, it's.
I visited Reggio Calabria 30 years ago. There were soldiers around because they were fighting.
Yeah.
And we visited cos'era? Bronzi di Riace, il museo.
Oh yeah, Bronzi di Riace. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Fantastic. And the other thing, we went at the very end of Calabria. You can see Sicily on the other side, and further we saw Stromboli.
Stromboli.
It wasn't erupting anyway. Only the shape.
Yeah. Okay.
The mist, but that was fantastic.
Yeah, we're going. I think we're going to be staying in Tropea.
I visited Tropea. It was amazing place, but I suggest you not only to stay in Tropea, but even look at this area, but from the hill.
Okay.
Because there are. How can you say when the coast is directly to the sea?
Oh, it's cliffs. It's cliffs. You talk about high cliffs or steep cliffs.
High cliffs are very, very nice. Very nice. So there is a small village, and it is similar like a diamond, near the sea, and back to the village there is these high cliffs. Very nice.
Okay. Yeah, that's so high cliffs. That's very much like when you go to the north of Scotland. If you go the northwest, the far northwest, it's called Cape Wrath. It's the cliffs are something like 300 meters straight down to the sea. It literally is like you're standing at the end of the world.
In the north,
in the north. It's the very north. It's the northwest. Because Scotland is sort of like that. That sort of shape. Yeah, it's the northwest corner.
Yeah, surely. If I go, I'm going to visit these places.
And take some autan.
Scotland. Are there mosquitoes? No.
No. They're not mosquitoes. They are what they call midges, which are to some extent the worse because they're tiny and they just crawl into your clothes and they bite you.
But autumn, does it work?
Yeah, it keeps them off. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. I was looking for, because when you said Calabria, a friend of mine went to do a trekking because Christina said it was really interesting. The mountains, and this friend of mine. But I was looking for the name of these guides. I can't find it. Sorry. But he told me that it was really interesting. The only problem is how many time are you going to stay? How much time are you going to stay? Because of course, if you decide to do this kind of trekking, you need some days.
Yeah.
At least 5, I think 5.
No, we're there. Okay, we're there for the week, or for a week, for the seaside. For the seaside.
No.
Okay.
So you only have the time to rest a little bit.
Yeah,
but
and then
you can even spend
one day,
just one day to La Sila,
yes.
Monti del Pollino, just one day, and you realize how green is the inside area. So
no, I think we'll definitely have a look at that, because we're then going to spend a week in Lazio, Lago di Bracciano, that area, in the Lattuscia. That is just a gorgeous area. It really is beautiful. Really
I'm sorry, I have to leave because
it is actually 7:30 now, so that's it. So
bye. See you.
Bye, Barbara.
bye.
Thank you for everything, and
Bye.
bye.
Thank you for everything, Gordon, and for the patience.
Okay.
It was a
Take
pleasure.
care, everybody. Have a good summer. Okay, bye.
Enjoy.
All of you.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye,
Thank
Nico.
you.
Thank you for joining us.
Have a good summer. Bye.
Okay.